Hello everyone. Again in today's class we will continue with the same journal entries we are going to solve. And this class also I am going to teach you the compound entries. Okay. In the previous video I taught you about the compound entries. In the next coming problem also I will be teaching the compound entries, how to pass the compound journal entries. Okay. So this is the problem. Journalize the following transaction. In compound entries, for each journal entry you will be having 2 marks will be allotted. Usually in simple journal entry you will get only 1 mark for each entry, but in compound entries for each compound entry you will be getting 2 marks with your narration, amount, everything is correct means you will get 2 marks. Okay, so here is a problem. Journalize the following transactions. 2017 January 1st, commenced business with cash rupees 5,000, stock of goods rupees 20,000, machinery rupees 10,000 and bills payable rupees 1,000. There is a new word, bills payable. I will tell you what is that. Next, Jan 2nd, borrowed rupees 5,000 from Arun and rupees 10,000 from Bharat. Jan 5th, purchase goods from Charan rupees 4,000 and from Dhanraj rupees 6,000. Next, January 15th, sold goods to Arish rupees 8,000 and to Govind rupees 4,000. Jan 20th, received cash from Hari rupees 7,500 and hallowed him discount rupees 500. Next, January 25th, paid salary rupees 2,000 and rent rupees 1,000. So these are the journal entries. Now let's start with passing the entries. Okay. Now before that, as I told you, usually I used to take one rough sheet so that it will be easy for you to enter the entries correctly. Okay. So here the first one, Jan 1st. They are starting a business with what and all aspects are there we will take. Whatever the items they are starting with, that we need to take. They are starting with cash they have, and they have stock, and also they have machinery to start the business, and they have bills payable. So bills payable is also one of the common basic terminology. It comes under your basic terminologies. Okay, what is this bills payable means? The company or the business which has to pay is bills. Okay, so this usually it is a liability. There is bills payable as well as bills receivable. Bills payable means the business has to pay to outside people to whom it has to pay certain bills. Okay, this detailedly you will be learning about the bills payable and bills receivable in further chapters. Okay, as of now, to make you understand, I am giving a very simple meaning here. Bills payable means the company or the firm, whichever the business we are doing, we have to pay certain bills to the third party or the third person. So we are liable to pay. So that is a liability. If it is a bills receivable means we should receive certain bills. That means we should receive certain payments from the outside people. So that is becomes an asset, current asset. Okay. So now bills payable is a liability. Okay. Keep that in your mind. Next, stock, cash, machinery, all this belongs to asset. When you're starting a business, all this will include also, we need to start with a capital. Is it right? So capital belongs to capital account. So all these assets are increasing in the value. So it will be debited. Liability, it's also increasing, so increase in liability will also be credited. And capital is also increasing, that is also credited. Increase in capital will also be credited. Okay, now when you have certain payables, certain bills have to be paid, that has to be shown as paid using the capital amount. What is the capital amount? Total of all these 3 assets will become the capital amount. Out of that we should pay this bills payable and that should be shown in your journal entry. It's very important. Okay, since it is an liability, capital also comes under liability only. It's a part of liability only. Okay, so here what happens, whenever you write the total amount of capital, from that amount you should deduct this bills payable and then you should show the amount of the capital, actual amount of the capital. So you can ask, well, starting a business, how can they start with the machinery, bills payable, since it is an initial stage? It can be happen when you are purchasing certain already existing business. If you are purchasing, maybe it is undergoing the losses, so they are selling to a low price and you may wish to buy that particular business. In such cases, already existing business, if you are purchasing and if you are doing certain investment and you are starting a business, in that case you can find many machineries, assets will be there, liabilities also will be there. In such case you can follow this particular entries will be appearing. Okay, to make it clear, usually everyone will have this doubt, when we start a business, how come bills payable will be there? If that all they give loan, how come the loan will be there? So it can happen in when you're purchasing a already existing business. Okay, so let's pass the entry for this now. So on date they have given is 2017 January 1st. So here 3 accounts are debited, that is cash account, debtor, stock account, debtor, machinery account, debtor, 2 bills payable account, 2 capital account. Okay, so this will be your entry. Now what is the capital amount they have given is, sorry, cash account is 5,000 and stock balance they have given is 20,000 and machinery value is 10,000 and bills payable is 1,000. Bills payable I am writing in the credit side since it is a credit account is credited here. Okay, now coming to the capital account. Now capital balance, how we used to calculate, we used to add all these assets whatever they have, we used to add, is it right? Here 25,000 plus 10, 35,000, total it is 35,000. So total of capital is 35,000, but we are not showing as 35 because we have the bills payable 1,000 should be deducted. So 35,000 minus 1,000, it will be 34,000. So actual capital will be 34,000 because this 1,000 is a liability which we have to pay it back. So that we should deduct from the capital amount. So total you have to make this, add all the assets here, whatever the assets we have, you will get 35,000. Okay, 35,000 minus 1,000 bills payable. Now you will get the actual capital balance is 34,000. Okay, narration for this being commenced business with cash, stock, machinery and bills payable. Okay, draw the line. So this carries 2 marks. This entire entries carries 2 marks. Usually compound entries will be given 2 marks for each compound entry. Okay, next moving on to the next entry, that is on Jan 2nd. So what is the entry here? Borrowed rupees 5,000 from Arun and 10,000 from Bharat. So you are borrowing. What do you mean by borrowing? Borrowing nothing but it is a loan. So you are borrowing certain loan. That means your cash is coming. So cash is one aspect. Arun is one aspect and Bharat will be other aspect who is giving. Okay. So cash is an asset. Your cash balance is increasing, so it is debited. Arun and Bharat, they are giving loan to you. That means these both will become your creditors. Loan, you are taking loan. Usually the loan is taken as separate as loan account itself. It's not a creditor. So it is a liability for the business. So both are liabilities. So we are taking loan from Arun and Bharat, which comes under the liabilities. So liability is increasing here. Your liability is increasing. So increase in liability will be credited. So this entry you have to pass in this way. Cash account, debtor to Arun's loan account. We have to write here very clearly. Arun's loan account to Bharat loan account. Since it is clearly given borrowed. Borrowed is nothing but we are taking a loan. So that we have to show it. So that is not a creditor. It is termed as loan. So we are taking loan from Arun and Bharat. So we have to show it here. Arun's loan account and Bharat loan account. Okay. So what is the total that you are taking from Arun? You are borrowing from Arun is 5,000 you are borrowing, and from Mr. Bharat you are borrowing 10,000. So total cash that we are receiving is 15,000. Arun is giving 5,000 and Bharat is giving 10,000 as a loan. So total cash we received is 15,000. Being borrowed loan from Arun and Bharat. Okay. So this will be your entry. Next. So next entry is on Jan 5th. Purchased goods from Charan and Dhanraj. So what happens here when you purchase? Purchase is one aspect, and here it is not mentioned cash. They have given two people's name from whom you have purchased. So one is Charan and one more is Dhanraj. So these are the three aspects here. Purchase is an expense. When you are purchasing on credit, they becomes your creditors. Both are creditors. Is it right? So expense is increasing will be debited, and your creditors is also increasing, which comes under liability. Both are liability. So both liability is increasing means it will be credited. That's all. Now here of course you should be little bit faster in analyzing the entries. Okay. So on Jan 5th, entry is like this: purchased account or purchases account, debtor to Charan's account to Dhanraj account, Dhanraj's account. So how much you are purchasing from Charan? We are purchasing from Charan 4,000 worth. Okay. And from Dhananjay we are purchasing 6,000 worth of goods. So add together total purchase will be 10,000. Total purchase will be 10,000. Okay. Narration. Being purchased goods on credit from Charan and Dhanraj. This is your narration. Okay, is it fine? Now let's move on to the next transaction. So next transaction, sold goods to Hari and Govind. So date number 15, you are selling the goods means obviously one aspect will be sales, and it is very clear it is a credit transaction. There is no word of cash, and they have sold for two people. One is Hari, the other one is Govind. Sales is an income. and this 2 becomes the debtors, which is asset. Okay, since we are selling, we will be receiving amount in the future. Hari and Govind will be our debtors. So sales income is increasing, it will be credited, and debtors is also increasing, asset value is increasing, it will be debited. So your entry will be Jan 15 Hari's account debtor, Govind account debtor to sales account, to sales account. Okay, so for Hari, how much you are selling is 8,000, and for Govind you are selling amounting rupees 4,000. Add together, you will be total sales is 12,000. Total sales is 12,000. That is the sales amount. Okay. So narration for this: being sold goods for Hari and Govind on credit. So this is your entry. Moving on to the next entry. Next entry is on Jan 20th. Received cash from Arish rupees 7,500 and allowed him discount of 500 rupees. So you are receiving cash. So one aspect is cash and you are receiving from Harish and they have given discount. So these three are the aspects here. Cash is asset, Harish are debtors, so he is also an asset, and discount we are allowing, it's an expense. So cash balance is increasing since we are receiving it. Increase in asset, it is debited. Next, Hari is paying. Is it right? Hari is paying to us. So Hari, when he is paying, debtors amount will be decreasing. So asset value decreases. Decrease in asset is credited. Again, discount, we are giving the discount, we are allowing the discount, so it is an expense. Your expenses is increasing. Increase in expense will be debited. So your entry will be on Jan 20th. Take the debit items: cash account debtor, discount allowed, account debtor to Hari's account. Hari's account is credited. You can see 2 accounts are debited and 1 account is credited. Okay. So now what is the total cash that we have received is 7,500 and discount we have allowed is 500. So actual total amount that has to be paid by Harish was 8,000. Okay. Being received cash from Hari. Okay. And next entry that we have, the last entry. It's very simple. Paid salary and rent. So when you are paying, that is on Jan 25th. Cash is the one aspect and salary and rent. Both, since you are paying, it is an expense. Both are debited. Increase in expense will be debited. Cash is an asset. You are paying. Cash balance will decrease. So asset value is decreasing. It is credited. So entry will be on Jan 25th. Salary account debtor, rent account debtor to cash account. So salary paid is 2,000 rupees, rent paid is 1,000 rupees. So total cash that we have paid is 3,000. You should add these two. Okay. So narration for this: being paid salary and rent. So this will be a narration. We need to do the totaling at the end, right? So total, both the debit columns and the credit column, we have to do the totaling. So starting from the first, I'm doing the total now. Okay. So 5 plus 20, 25, 30. 35,000, 15,000, 10,000. Next is 8,000, 4,000. Here 7,500 plus 500 is 8,000. Next here 3,000. So total debit side I got is 83,000. Let me see the credit balance. 34,000 plus 1,000 is 35. Directly I am taking. Next here it is 15,000. 10,000 plus 5,000. 6,000 plus 4,000 is 10,000. Next 12,000. 8,000 and 3,000. So this side also I am getting 83,000. So both credit and debit balance both are tallied. So these are the entries for your compound entries. So this problem, I think it is very clear now for you how to pass the entries for compound transactions. So this is your answer. Finally, you have to show the total, both debit side and credit side, both side it should tally. And for each transaction, when you pass the entries, cross check debit balance, total of debit and total of credit, is that tallying it or not. When you see here, see here it is total purchase is 10,000 and both the accounts here it is credited. Total of these two should equal to the 10,000. 6,000 plus 4 it is 10,000. Right? So here you can see 1,000 plus 434 is 35,000 total. When you add all the debit items, 3 items, it will come to 35,000. So when you pass the entries, you have to see the amount also whether it is tallying. If not, you have to cross check the entries. Somewhere when you are using the rules, you may miss. Some account can be debited which is wrongly debited or wrongly credited. So that to make sure you have to cross check it. Okay. Hope you understood very clearly. Any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.